All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our February 2025 Kitchener Heritage Meeting. So to begin, any disclosure of pecuniary interests or general nature of thereof? Seeing none, so moving forward with our discussion items. So 4.1, Heritage Permit Application HPA 2025-IV-03, 107 Cortland Avenue East, replacement of 22 windows and front doors on the front facade, DSD-2025-024. Jessica Vera from Heritage Planner will be providing a 5-minute presentation.
For the property, there we go. For the property municipally addressed as 107 Cortland Avenue East and more commonly known as Cortland Public School. The property had a notice of intention to designate issued for it on October 25th, 2024, and the designating bylaw was passed by Council January 20th, 2025. So while not yet fully registered or fully designated, as it still has an appeal period on it, we are required to have a heritage permit for work done to this property as per Section 32 of the Ontario Heritage Act. So the proposed work includes the replacement of 22 single-hung aluminum windows on the front facade of the school, as well as the replacement of the existing front doors on the school, with new single-hung aluminum wood-clad windows with muttons and mullions, as well as a more decorative door. The intent of this is to improve the thermal performance, ventilation, lighting, and operability of the school building, and it is part of a larger capital works project being undertaken by WRDSB. So in reviewing the merits of this application, it should be noted that the existing windows and doors that are on the building are not original to it, but are replacements from previous work. The multi-pane windows that are being proposed, which are pictured above, are a common design choice that's seen on this specific architectural style for this building. And photographs that were found from previous years, specifically 1967, show that the multi-pane windows and a door which was similar in style to what's being proposed did used to be installed on the school. The windows that are proposed are the same windows that were installed at Sudbury Public School, which is also designated under Part 4 of the Ontario Heritage Act through an application in 2021. So samples of these windows have been provided and reviewed by staff, and once they were installed at Sudbury School, further inspections were done. Further, the fenestration, window openings, stone sills, stone surrounds, and other identified heritage attributes are to be maintained. And that concludes the summary of this presentation.
Thank you, Jessica. And I would like to welcome our delegate, Josh Bedard, for a brief presentation or to answer any questions available. Do you have a presentation, Josh? No. All right. No questions? Okay, thank you. So moving forward, are there any questions for staff or the delegate? Laura?
I saw that the report was posted for community engagement. I wondered if there was any feedback or concerns from the public or stakeholders. Thank you.
Through you, Vice Chair, we didn't receive any comments back from the general public. Jean Halboom the chair had emailed me a couple questions for clarification earlier, but she didn't express any concerns with what's being proposed.
Any other questions? Seeing none, so we will move forward. If this report receives approval, it will go from the committee, it will go to council for approval on February 10th. Is there anybody who would want to motion this recommendation? Okay, thank you, Grant. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, carried. Okay. Moving forward to item 4.2, Kitchener's Great Places Program Update, My Impact Pat Wagner Heritage Awards, DSD-2025-037. Our project manager of planning, Olu, will be providing a brief presentation.
Good evening, everyone. Here to provide, my name is Oluseyi Ojurungba. I'm project manager within the Planning and Housing Policy Division, and here to provide a real quick update and seek Heritage Kitchener's input on some of the changes we're looking at to bring into the Heritage Awards. Probably here to inform the committee about some of the changes, looking to include a jury panel going forward as part of the selection process for this award. So we're recommending a change to the process of selecting successful recipients for the Mike and Pat Wagner Heritage Awards, which we hope integrates and includes a jury panel going forward. Since inception, we haven't adopted this model in selecting the winning projects, and we think it's something we would like to include so it better aligns with other categories, other selection categories of other projects, of other award categories. So this recommendation will be accommodated under the Kitchener Great Places Awards capital budget. So as mentioned, we're proposing that this jury panel be set up to select the winners of this particular category, like similar categories for the award. So we currently have 9 categories of awards, and we hope to have a jury panel to select this category as well. We hope to set up this panel and to have a composition of a member of this committee and 4 other professionals, as stated within the report. I think one of the key things for us for this award is to ensure that we're looking to bring forward to award at least 4 categories. So having to recognize preservation and restoration of cultural resources within the city, properties or projects that have demonstrated rehabilitation and adaptive reuse of cultural heritage resources, and also individual contributions to the field of heritage conservation. We believe this change will allow a more comprehensive review of the nomination process for this award. As part of the timelines, we're looking to seek inputs from this committee for us to frame up our timelines. Ideally, we're looking to hold the awards during the fall of this year, typically between October and November this year. Pending Council's endorsement of the change in the process for this category of award, we'll continue to work on our timelines, have it finalized, and update this committee once that's firmed up. So staff are here to answer questions, and that concludes the presentation, the summary of this presentation.
Thank you. Are there any delegations? Seeing none. Any questions for staff? Yes. Councillor Chapman.
Yeah, is this on, I guess? Yeah, can you just remind us what the procedure was up to this point?
Sure. Okay. So staff, Jenny, would you?
Through you, Vice Chair. So the process up until this point was that we would put out a call for nominations based on the 4 categories, and all the nominations pending their verification of their qualifications would be presented to Heritage Kitchener. The process that we followed in 2023 was that we first put out a memo sort of facilitating this whole process. Once we had the nominations, we then followed up with Heritage Kitchener with another report and another presentation of all the nominations, and then the committee voted on the winners. I believe a secret vote was made at the meeting that time, and the winners were announced. So that's been the process. The Heritage Awards have been isolated from the other Great Places Awards, so the intent of this change in process is to streamline all the awards together so that there's a more holistic approach in selecting the winner for the Mike and Pat Wagner Heritage Awards.
So that means Heritage Kitchener doesn't have a role in the selection process at all then? And we don't approve it at the end?
Through you, Vice Chair. No, HK will very much be involved. We are anticipating 1 or 2 representatives from the committee to sit on the jury for the Urban Design Awards. And we will be providing regular updates to the committee in terms of the nominations and how the processes are sort of falling into place. The timelines for those are unclear at this point, as my colleague mentioned. But pending council endorsement, we will be providing regular updates to the committee. And 1 or 2 members are going to be involved in the jury.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? Yes, Magda?
I have, I guess, 3 questions now. But the first is related to the composition of the jury. Is the jury meant to be one jury for all of the awards now, or is there a separate jury for the Heritage Awards and separate juries for the other Great Places Awards? I wasn't clear on that.
Through you, Vice Chair. The intent is to now have a sort of an integrated jury for the Urban Design Awards. So previously, the Mike and Pat Wagner Heritage Awards had Heritage Kitchener Committee as sort of the jury, but now that's going to be integrated with the jury panel that sits and judges all the other award nominations that we receive for urban design.
Okay, thank you. Because my question initially was why the Director of Development was part of the jury for the Heritage Awards, but that's just because the jury is an overall jury for all of the awards. Okay, that makes more sense. And then there was mention in the documents about a Heritage Kitchener historic building inventory, and I was just wondering where we can access that. Thanks.
Through you, Vice Chair, so I don't believe that document is available online, but we can follow up with you. It's just a basic list of buildings that we think have cultural heritage value, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. So if you want access to that document, we can provide that to you.
Any other questions? Okay, seeing none. So if this report receives approval from committee, it will go to council for approval on February 10th, 2025. Do we have a motioner? Councilor Michaud, all those in favor? Okay, any opposed? Okay, carried. So it was a motion by Councilor Michaud that it was resolved that Heritage Kitchener endorses program amendments to the Kitchener's Great Places Award with respect to the award recipient selection for the Mike and Pat Wagner Heritage Awards as recommended in. And then moving up to 5, any information items. 5.1, the Heritage Permit Application Tracking Sheet. Are there any updates on that?
No, Vice Chair.
Okay, that is all for our agenda. Can I have a motion to, thank you. All right, meeting adjourned.